Hi everyone, welcome to this episode of the Wolf Business Podcast. Myself and Lloyd will be the hosts, and today we will be going into detail about the consultation process slash transformational session process slash whatever you want to call it. Basically the meeting.
Selling to somebody face to face after they a lead comes through from whatever basis, you get them sat in front of you. How do you sell a PT?
Yeah.
So right from the basics to getting them to buy something to what you should be selling them.
Basically a face-to-face meeting to sell your products. So first of all, where should this be used? So my opinion, you don't have to meet everybody. It depends on the product being sold. So high-end products like one-to-one coaching or small group coaching or whatever your business sells. Something basically where it's a high-end product, so it's worth your time to meet them beforehand to close the deal. That's where I would personally use it. Some people like to meet everybody. Some people might not meet anybody. I feel like face-to-face meetings will always have a place, and no matter how much the internet grows and we continue to have automated stuff, people buy off people at the end of the day, and you'll be missing a big gap in the business if you don't have face-to-face meetings somewhere in your sales process.
Absolutely.
So really, like I said, it's about seeing where this fits into your business. Consultation as a word is, I think, not dying, but it's a little bit less common now.
It's not as cool, is it?
So there's a lot of, like I said, people telling transformational sessions, or whatever you want to call it. It's a meeting before your products. Yeah. So we've put together our top tips to do the meeting. Myself, I've worked in sales face to face a lot, and these are the kind of steps that I'd be looking to take in a face to face meeting to sell fitness. Yeah. So before we get to the steps, if you just talk about the gist of what we'd look to tips based. I mean, my first one for a face to face meeting is to always be seated, which sounds silly, but what I'll find with a lot of people. So if you're in the gym, you'll be talking to them like this, and they might be sat down, you start telling them, do you know what I mean? Whereas if you're stood over them, which is okay for part of it, I suppose, if you're demonstrating something or whatever, I know it's literal this as well, but you're not on their level. So if you sat with them, you feel a bit more of a rapport with the person. And the reason I've pointed that out, seated, is because it would be the complete opposite if he was on the phone. That's when I'd say stand, because your energy comes across a lot more. Another thing before we go into the steps I'd like to point out is be genuine. So there's a lot of misconceptions about selling where people think that you're tricking people and you need to manipulate people and things like that. If you're selling a product and you need to manipulate people or trick them, then the product's not good.
The product ain't right.
So what we're doing in this case is we're assuming your product's good, you're going to get people results, and it's your job to get them to work with you, because you know you're going to be able to deliver the product they're looking for. Yeah. So it's a good product. There's nothing to feel like you're tricking people about.
Well, that would be my first one. Yeah. Know your product. Know what you're selling. A lot of coaches I've worked with in the past, and you ask them what PT is, it's a fucking massive thing. PT is, it can be, we can do sessions, we can do strength training, we can do fat loss, and it can work on nutrition. Like, to people that don't know what you're talking about, that doesn't mean anything. To people that do know what you're talking about, it sounds like you don't know what you're talking about. The product has to be pretty straight down. So, what is it? What do I get? Well, package one, you get one-on-one coaching session a week. You get nutritional advice. You get this, and it's laid down exactly. These are the 5 things you get in package 1. In package 2, you get this, and this. Obviously, I'm going into more menus.
No, that's great.
It's understanding what you do and what's right for them, so you can describe it simply and advancedly. Because you get too many people trying to put 35 things in a package. What you get is, you get hormonal advice, you get 24-hour coverage, you get this food pack, you get this
as well. Devalue it, because they can just tell you making stuff up, or
it's just
too much.
Fill it up almost. Sometimes if you've got stuff in there like that, I'm not saying you shouldn't, but it shouldn't be. Your product should be pretty simple.
Hang on, there's drugs stealing my limelight here. Well, I've got that down as well, because that's a great point. I've put practice And people don't do this. They'll go to let's call it a consultation for today's sake. They go to consultation and they don't really know what they're going to say.
No.
They know they do PT, and it just comes off as off the cuff. Yeah. And yes, I do agree that most of it should be off the cuff. You don't need to have a script here.
But you should know what it is.
Yeah, because if you come to me and say, what do you do? Like, what can we expect to do in a session? You go, well, thinking about it, we're probably going to do it. It doesn't look good.
No.
It needs to be, well, we do this, we do this, we do this.
This is how your process starts. This is step one, this is step two, this is step three. This is what you get every month, this is how you pay. Just having an understanding of what the product is and how it comes up, how it sells, how it goes, the process.
It sounds like you've done it before and you're confident and you deliver your products regularly.
Yeah.
But whether it's true or not, if they ask you a question like that and you go, right, well, it sounds like you're not sure, you might not have done it before.
You're making it up.
Yeah, you're making it up. So whether it's true or not, you need to be ready and practice.
We always talk about going through other industries. If you went to buy a car and you got there and went, what's the deal you can do on this for me? And they went, well, I don't know how much it is now. Well, it's usually this much. Maybe it's not very confident. This is how much it costs. This is how much it'll cost per month. Really, really straight down the line. This is what everything it comes with. It's just
and that's like
makes
reps.
it easy. It makes it easier to buy. Makes it easier to buy.
It's just the same as being in the gym. Yeah. You do reps and reps of an exercise. You need to do reps and reps of your sales process. And
learning the process.
It's not about having a script. It's about having your answers ready and you know what you're talking about. You might.
I think it's just knowing what you're talking about. It's not a script. It's just understanding your product. You don't need to have a pitch. Bang! This is what it is, and lay out this massive thing. Just knowing it, so that you can confidently talk about it without stumbling. It's just. So
you know what you're talking about. Everything they need to know, you know, and it's ready to be told, basically. And the next one, because these are things that we hear a lot with sales. And there's objections. I hear a lot of people talking about objections. Oh, you get ready to react.
Managing objections.
Yeah. And this is...
If you cold calling for insurance, then but if you're selling PT, then get it out of your head.
It's people, if they have an objection, you've got to assume it's a genuine objection. I get a lot of people talking about how it's just a way of getting out of it. If they want to get out of it, let them get out of it. Because they will get out of it down the line anyway.
Again, you're not here to trick somebody into it. You're gonna find the best process for them to take to get what they're after. It's you helping somebody. That's why we get into the game, to help people. If it doesn't suit them paying 200 quid a month, then don't try and sign them up to 200 quid a month. If they've got 100 quid a month budget, then give them something for 100 quid budget. If you haven't got anything for 100 quid budget, then send them on somebody that has. You need the right people in your business, and trying to trick somebody into paying more or getting a product that they weren't after isn't the right way to go.
The way to be a better salesperson immediately, because there's so much bad advice out there, there really is to realise that you're not in an argument with somebody. You're both working together to find a solution to whatever their problem is. So if they've got an objection, always agree with it, because that's their objection. Just because you say something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's an objection. So say whether it's too expensive, that's an objection. You saying that it's not too expensive isn't helping anybody. You would then agree with them because it's their life, and then let's work together to find a solution for something that isn't too expensive. And also, while we're on the subject of too expensive, that doesn't mean they haven't got that money. It means that they think what you're giving them for the money is too expensive. So they might say, if you say 200 quid for this, they might say too expensive. Doesn't mean that they're not willing to pay 200 quid. It means they're not willing to pay 200 quid for that.
For what you've offered them.
So stop assuming things. Stop arguing with them over objections. And
accept the objection.
And work on with it.
Work around it. Because a lot of the time in a consultation, you haven't known them very long, so they're not massively trusting of you. They're not really or maybe they are, but they've got to buy in to your product before they're going to start paying that sort of money out, like everybody is. You don't walk into any other shop and put money on something that you don't know anything about. You buy an Apple phone because you know what an Apple phone is and what it does, and that you can depend on it. If I offered you another phone that you've never heard of, like what a lot of people are doing with PT, a lot of people haven't had PT before, or have had a bad experience of it, or had a completely different experience with it. So trying to sell something completely different is an off-putting thing already. So you're just trying to ease somebody into it. They might not see the value in a £200 a month program at the moment, but in 6 weeks they might go, actually, now I've spent £100 for this first month, £200 sounds like a fucking bargain, and I'm going to upgrade to it. It's not an argument. Again, it's just finding the right path for them.
And if you take that attitude of you're going in there to work with this person to solve their problem, you go in there a lot more relaxed. Because if you're about to go in an argument with somebody, like it's a lot more stressful and you're on edge. Go in there, relax, take your time, have the answers ready, but also you don't need to speak fast and have that answer like this. You just take your time, have a conversation, and just relax, take it down a notch, and don't talk so much as well. Let them do the talking and actually listen to what they're saying.
That's the basic building rapport tip. Let them do the talking. Listening builds rapport more than talking does.
So a big key to the sales process is what Lloyd just said, building rapport. Because as I said earlier on, people buy off people. If they like you, they're much more likely to buy off you because they trust you then and they believe that you'll deliver what they want. Yeah. So that'll take us. We've put 4 steps here for the sales process. Some people might tell you about 10. One of the things I like to do is simplify it and don't add any more steps than is needed because it creates more obstacles. Really, really simple steps. And step 1 is...
Go for your 4, yeah.
Yeah, so step 1 would be a warm greeting and a bit of small talk to start, which I don't like to just sit down and go, right, back onto the product then, have a little chat. And the key thing for the warm greeting is people like people that like what they do. So if I go into a shop and I'm going to buy a TV and I go, hey, excuse me, can I just ask you a question about the TV? And it's like, right, one sec. You kind of puts you off. Whereas you go, yeah, no worries, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to grab the information for you. Yeah. You just straight away you can feel a bit more energized and excited to buy it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So a warm greeting, great first impression. And when I say small talk, because I'm not a fan of small talk in general life anyway, what I mean by that is you don't need to get straight into it and start talking about sales. You can just have a bit of a chat about how they are and, oh, sorry, I've only just managed to speak to you now, or how's things, blah, blah, what would you say about that?
You find the place alright and whatever, get them a drink. The big thing I like to do is I like to have it in a specific part of the gym or out of the gym preferably. So I use coffee shop now for anything I'm ever selling. So, you know, you're alright, you get you a drink, you got a minute, they sit down, they get comfortable, you can order a drink, you can wait for the drinks to be delivered, and you can just say, oh, you know, have you been to the place before, whatever, just little tiny things, just to sort of get to know somebody, where they're from and whatever else, make a big difference to...
I just show me you're a human being, basically.
Yeah, absolutely,
I think sometimes people see, he's going to sell to me and I don't trust him, blah, blah, blah. A little bit of an informal chat. I like to almost indicate to them at the times I'm being off the record. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, just have a bit of a chat and like, and just relax them. So that'd be number 1 as far as my tips.
Yeah. Go on, number 2.
Number 2 would be, I'm looking, before talking about products or anything, because one thing I do like to do is not assume that they're just going to buy what they've shown interest in. Find out about them, find out what their need is, and one I'd say this is probably one of the biggest mistakes in selling. People sell to everybody the same way. What you need to do is find out why they're buying this product. It's usually not just because they want to buy the product. There's a reason. So like finding why they want to get fit, for example. Is there something coming up, or is there issues in the past, or because they might want to get stronger. It might be because they want to start looking better when they go on a lad's holiday. Yeah, that's the actual need, looking better on a lad's holiday, not get stronger. I think this is one of your big bugbears where people might think that everybody wants to get stronger. So somebody's come and you take that then.
For me, I see the consultation as finding how they want to achieve their goals. What I've witnessed a lot in the past is PTs already knowing how they're going to train somebody before a consultation, and for me that just isn't right. I'm into Olympic lifting. I'm into doing squats and cleans and front squats and overhead presses and all the stuff that comes around Olympic lifting and powerlifting. Yeah, I'm into that. Julie, who works behind the counter at Tesco's, come to me. She sits down all day. She's stressed out of it. She's got to deal with shitty customers, and she says, "I want to lose fat." And I go, cool, guess what we're doing? Squats, cleans, overhead press, all the stuff I'm into, because that's how I train people, because that's what works, because I use it. And it's fine having a method. But if she goes, I don't really want to touch, don't want to do weights, you've got to convince her to do some weights, probably, because that's what most people are going to need to do to lose a lot of fat. But just completely writing off her reaction to weights and going, no, you need to learn, that's the only way, is awful for me. You've got to find a way around their obstacles. So look, I don't want to do weights, no problem, I'll get you plenty strong, I'll burn you fat without touching weights, not an issue, we'll leave that aside. She needs to get stronger, she might have also, say she has underactive glutes and tight hips like most people do, and feet cave in while she squats. Does she need to learn all that with a bar on her back? No, does she? Fuck. She could do it on one leg and make it plenty hard. She can go on to learning a Cossack squat. She could go on to learning a pause squat. There's all sorts of ways around getting a movement chain developed without your own exercises. And I just see it a lot. And it's a massive bugbear of mine. I'll train anybody for anything because I believe in that people should be able to train the way that excites them and that they want. And look, I've had a lot of PTs haven't had PT. I've had a lot of PT because I really like working with a coach. And I've been to a coach and said to him, I wanted to box jump. We had these plow boxes in the gym, and I said I want to learn how to jump on those boxes, whatever it takes. And he gave me this big fat program with cleans and squats almost every day. And I fucking hated doing the squats. Never liked it. Never enjoyed it as an exercise. Loved the cleans, got to cleans, loved the deadlifting, could not stand the squats, did it over and over and over and over again. Never did it to 100% because I wasn't enjoying myself. And I got some gains from it, but compared to the gains that I got on the cleans, which I was really enjoying, there were nothing because I wasn't putting 100% in because I didn't like it. When somebody comes to you and says to you they don't like doing weights and you force them to do weights, they might like it, but they might not, and they might not put the effort in. It's like one of those things, you get a girl to PT and people go, and she says, yeah, I do body pump 5 times a week, and people go, right, no classes, body pump shit, don't ever do it. Why? Like, who cares? Like, maybe take 2 out and put in a couple of extra sessions. Well, let her go to body pump if she likes it. Who cares? Like, as long as she's getting where she wants. That's a rant over. It really pisses me off when people force somebody into a direction they don't want to be going in. And I've seen it before. One more example: somebody go into a coach for fat loss and ending up just as fat, but putting 20 kg on the 1RM squat. Yeah. Like, do you not remember? And the clients completely forgot why they're training with this PT now, because they've got into their head that squatting's the best thing in the world. And not, again, I'm talking about squatting, but I don't just mean squatting, but I'm just mean keeping the direction that the client wants and not letting your beliefs take them off course, because they come to you for one reason generally. So get them what they want.
When they're coming to you, you're a specialist. You're supposed to be not just a specialist in training somebody, but you need to be a specialist in product selection as well.
Yeah. So the consultation, it's all about that.
That's a big part of results. Because if they're not, you might, like Lloyd just said, yes, they might get the result of putting 20 kilos on the squat. That's a result, but they didn't want that result. They wanted to lose weight, so they got the wrong result, and it's because they got the wrong product. Because you got to see your services as products. You do lots of strength training on the squat, for example, is one of your products. And getting to lose fat is another one of your products. You just sold them the wrong product, which ultimately means they didn't get the result they wanted, which means they didn't get what they paid for. So one of the key things here, so we're on step 2, finding that need. If you make the mistake of not finding out their need at this point, they're almost guaranteed to be on the wrong product, which means they're going to get the wrong result. So find out their need, and I always like to take this back to other industries. So say if you were working in a shop that sells televisions, I won't mention any companies, and somebody comes in and they say, I want to get a new TV. Their job was to find out why they want a new TV. So he said, right, I want a 40-inch flat screen.
You tell Josh has just bought a TV, by the way, so I've brought it up about 3 times. So
if you want, right, I want a massive TV, right? Yeah. So then you're right. That's just like, right, I want PT. That's just the same. Yeah. So then the person wants TV. If you ask them, right, what kind of TV do you want? They might say, right, I want a massive one. It's got to have HD and smart TV in it. So that's like them saying, well, fat loss, so a little bit more specific. But then you've got to find out why they want that TV. And if you don't find out, then you can't pitch your products next, because that's the next step. So if I ask them, right, I'm trying to dig into it, why you want this TV, why do you need the smart, and why do you want the 40 to 50 inch, you find out that he's just arranged with his mates that every Saturday this football season that they're going to come to us to watch the match. So it needs to be a TV that will look great when the football's on. And they need it too smart because it needs to play through the internet. So now you know the need. So that takes us on to number 3, which is pitching your products. So now you know that he really wants a TV because he wants to have a TV that's up to the standard of watching a football at a weekend, bigger than everyone else's, otherwise he may as well go elsewhere.
Of course.
He wants to show off and have an HD. He needs it to be smart so he can get the internet through it to stream the match or whatever. So then when I end up coming to my pitching my products, and I'm a big fan of giving them at least 2 options, probably 2, more than that's confusing. 2 options. So you can give them 2 options that fit their need, and it's kind of like, do you want this higher end or do you want the lower end? And that's a good salesperson because you're giving them choice within their budget, but you solving the problem. So do you want to really solve the problem? Do you want the biggest TV going there that's going to like blow your mates away, or do you want the TV that's going to do the job?
Yeah, that just ticks the boxes. Yeah.
So now when you, because it's going to be different. If you've got a guy coming in to watch wants a TV for the football, it's different to someone that's buying a TV for the kids' room so they can watch TV before they go to sleep.
Absolutely.
So when you then pitch the 50-inch massive Super HD TV, you can go, right, we've got 2 choices here. You've got this one, which is going to be the best TV out of all your mates. The game's going to look unbelievable. It's the top of the range. Not only can you stream the game, you can watch split screen and watch 2 of the games at once. All this kind of stuff. Or we can get this TV, which is 42 inch, which is still pretty big, not the biggest in the store, etc., etc. So you're actually pitching the products to their needs. It needs to be tailored, and that's when you've got to be an expert. You're not just saying the same thing. It's got to change based on what their need is.
Absolutely.
So the need is, I need it to watch football. No one needs a 50-inch TV. They need it because they want to watch this. They want it.
Yeah.
So there's a reason. So get into that reason, and then that should be in your pitch. So I'll let you take it back to the fitness industry. So a similar thing, because obviously you're great at this as well. If you now have somebody that wants to lose fat,
then you give them the things that they want to hear as well. Because the guy who wants a 50-inch TV wants to hear that the football looks great on it. He wants you to show him that the football looks great on it. Just like when somebody comes for fat loss, they want to know that the program is designed around fat loss, and it's that you've achieved fat loss with it before, and that it's.
This is what everyone else goes on.
This is what everyone else buys. This is how everyone burns fat. You know what? Another thing that people a lot of the time do too much of in consultations is you tell them it's well hard. Tell them it's easy. They want to hear it's easy. So you have to tell them a little bit. You can do this. It's achievable. Not it's really going to be hard. You've got to do loads of work. You can do it. There'll be challenges along the way, but you can do this. And people like you have done it before, and people like you have achieved what they wanted to achieve. This is the TV that everybody bought. You can afford it. It'll look awesome. It's just letting them know, just easing that you know what you're doing and it works for them.
And use examples like Lloyd just touched on. 3 people last month started in this program with similar goals to you, and this is where they're at with this program. So it's been done before. It's not the first time I sold this, and don't make stuff up. Tell them, obviously you get results. Tell them people that have come to you for fat loss before, and this is what you recommended them, and this is the one they chose. So at this point, we won't be talking about prices so much. We're going to talk about the products that you are going to propose next. So we've got this TV. It does this, and this. It's going to blow everything out of the water. We've got this TV which ticks all the boxes, and it's the lower end version of what you're looking for.
Yeah, then you've got to have products within your menu, within your selection to cater. So this is why when we talk about products and your menu selection, we're talking about having a low end option, a high end option, and everything in between. But you don't have to show all that every time. You go to a restaurant and you ask for the wine menu, you don't know anything about wine, and you look at that menu and you go, I don't know what I'm doing, and you select it on price then, don't you? You don't select the for the vintage or whatever else what happens with wine. I don't know anything about wine either, but but I've been there. I've looked at a wine list and just pretended like I knew what I was doing. Yeah, I'll take this one because it's the cheapest one. Do you know what I mean? So if you give everybody the options, that's what'll happen. Finding the one within that arsenal almost that fits them is very important. Their budget, their needs, their wants, finding the right mix for them. And like you just touched on right at the beginning, you're not trying to trick them into anything. You're trying to find the one that fits them, because if it fits them right, they'll get the results, they'll be happy with the value for money. You're going to get a long-term client. Like, everybody wins if they get the right product. It's not about the product benefiting one or the other. It should be benefit both exactly the same.
Definitely. And so in our case, as far as the top end and the middle range TV, for example, it could be, right, you want fat loss, let's make this one-to-one just to make it simple. So your top end product might be, you're going to train me 3 times a week, one-to-one.
Yep.
Your lower end option might be, you're going to train me once a week and you're going to follow my program for the 2 other sessions a week.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like, number 1 is going to be working with me every time, you're going to get phenomenal results, or the other one you can kind of do some of it yourself under my instruction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something like that. So they're both going to get results, but as you can tell, one of them is a premium version of it.
Yeah.
So you tell them about both. You don't talk about the benefits as far as price or anything like that. You just tell them about both. What this one's going to do, what that one's going to do. Then at that point, I would look for step 4, which is my final point, which is the proposal. And no matter how well the meeting's going, and I always believe in doing a proposal every single time, because otherwise there's no way that you need to ask them the question, is it yes or no? And the proposal at this stage would be then, right, I've told you about product A, I've told you about product B. Product A is this much, product B is that much, obviously more detail than that, that's the gist of it. Which one would you prefer to go for?
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
It's up to them to say yes to A, yes to B, or no to both.
Yeah.
But if you've done your product selection right and they've come for a reason, it should be A or B.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if you've gone through that process properly, A or B should be a done deal. Because again, you're not trying to trick them into anything. You're not trying to get them onto the biggest package if you can't afford it, if it doesn't suit them. Yep. You're trying to get them to the package that suits them to get everything they want from it. And because at the end of it, you're selling your product, you win every time. Somebody's going to be training with you, you win every single time. It's not about, oh shit, they only took 1 a week. Because I've heard PT say that before. Like, nah, they've got 1 a week, get 1 more of them. Like, just keep going if you need more. It's not an issue. One of the things I want to talk about when talk about consultations and when you're approaching clients, an attitude that comes with a few coaches that I've worked with, seen before, maybe had myself at one point, is that you shouldn't give anything for free. Don't give it away for free. Don't give them any information. Don't get it twisted up. Like, everything you do is available on bodybuilding.com. It's available on T Nation, innit? Like, you can't deny it. Body coaches banging out hit sessions, and so are you. Like, what you do personally cannot. What you do with a person one-on-one and how you coach them and how you relate to them and how you build rapport with them cannot. That's what they're there for. Not for the program, not for the macros, because they can fucking do that on their own on the internet. They're there for accountability and personal rapport. So just don't be afraid to give your time away for free. Obviously, there's a limit. Don't be spending hours and hours and hours to get a 1 a week client. If you're pitching big products though that cost a lot of money so the way I've seen it before, this is where my point is. So the big guys in the gym, they're charging the most, they do the most sessions, and then they go, no, I'm not spending no time with anybody. But they're trying to demand 60 quid a session when other people are charging 30. There's an element to it where you go, if you're the big guy, you should be able to pick and choose your clients, and the ones that you do choose should be the right ones, so you can invest time in them paying bigger amounts. And the way I always do it is the difference between buying a watch, right? I wear a Casio watch in the gym for work, right? When I want a new Casio watch, I can walk into Argos and I can fill out a little thing and I can go and give it to somebody, and I pay 8 quid, and then somebody else comes up and gives me a box and I walk out. And that's the level of service I get for paying 8 quid, and that's fine with me. If I want to buy a Rolex and I want to drop 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 pounds on a watch, plus even more as it could be for a Rolex, I'm going to go and drop maybe not a Rolex, whatever the watch it is. If I want to go and drop £5,000 a Rolex, if I walk in and have to sign something and just hand it to somebody and they slap a box on the table, I'm going to be pissed. If you're going and dropping a lot of money for what you see as a lot of money for a product, and you don't get the service with it, you're not going to be happy. You go in to buy a Rolex, somebody opens the door for you, you walk in, they offer you a coffee, you have a real conversation with a real salesman who knows the ins and outs of how these watches work, what it can do for you. He gives you a selection of ones to try, you get to try it on, you get to look at it, you get to really feel it, it comes in a nice box. The whole thing means that you will invest more money into it. You wouldn't buy an expensive watch if you got the same service that you got when I buy a Casio, because it wouldn't feel right. And everybody's bought something that they presumed that they knew was expensive, right? I bought an engagement ring a couple of years ago for my soon-to-be wife, and it cost a lot of money, right? It's more money. That's the most expensive thing I've ever bought. That's why it relates to it so much. And I got a real amount of service with it, and I still do. I go back to the shop now. They remember me. They've done services for the ring for free. It was just top end service, but I'm putting thousands of pounds down, so I expect that level of service, and I was happy to pay thousands of pounds. If I didn't, I wouldn't have bought the ring there. It was as simple as that. And if you're going to be, because some PT's packages are £1,000 plus. I've sold packages for that much before, but it wasn't on the first time of meeting them. It wasn't after half an hour sitting down and writing the goals down. It was after meeting them, a trial session, sorting out the gym membership, going for coffees and discussing the process, really getting to know them, and then they might transfer you, 1,500 quid. Now, you can't be getting that off people for nothing. You've got to invest the time and go through the steps.
Exactly, and if you do the steps properly, you'll be ready to sell the product at the end of it. And as Lloyd touched on there, there's a lot of customer service in this process as well. Don't get it mixed up that sales, as we said before, is a bad thing and is a trick or manipulation. No, this is all customer service. Warm greeting, customer service. Finding the need, making sure they actually get the right products, customer service. Pitching products and giving them choice is good customer service. And then proposing to them and something that fits what they want for a price that's fair is also something that could be seen as customer service. So doing your job properly, make sure that you will have a customer for life. At the end of the day, if you sell the product and they use it and they're happy, then you've done your job right. You should never sell a product and afterwards they're not happy with it. So get this right, find out what they want it for. As an expert, recommend the product that's right for their need, and then obviously give them a choice and find out what's the right one for them.
Essentially, it is all about customer service. That's it. If you get your customer service right, the sale is easy. If you concentrate on sales and without the customer service, it becomes a hard task. Making sure it's right for them is a huge thing. Yeah, definitely,
and especially in our industry where a customer can be a customer for a long time and refer people and change the products over time. Having experience in choosing the right product and making sure that's a priority over anything else is more key than ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they're going to be repeat buyers potentially. So getting these steps right and doing them properly is really important, and making sure that even if, and this is where real customer service comes into play, they come in and go, right, it's all right, I just want to buy your most expensive product. I would still at that point find out why. And just make sure, and they're not going to be annoyed at you. I've done it many times. Okay, before we just process that transaction, can I just find out why you want to go for this one, and make sure it's the right product for you? And it probably will be if they're that sure, but it's just customer service,
sure
it's right. Because if they do get that product and they go, actually, I didn't need to spend that much, did I? And you go, no, you didn't, but you wanted it. Then that's not right. That's not customer
absolutely.
service. And ultimately, it's about working ethically as well as being successful. Have you got anything else to add to it?
No, that's it. No.
It's quite a simple video, this one. It's just giving you a structure for your consultation.
Go over it. Recap one last time, right, before we go.
Obviously, there's more you can put into it. This is the general gist. So, warm greeting, you don't need to get straight into it, make them comfortable, set up the environment, like I mentioned about in a coffee shop, make sure your environment's right, you dress right, these are obvious things now, but warm greeting, small talk, etc., making them feel comfortable,
Step 2.
Make them feel wanted. Step 2, finding a need, and this probably should be the one that takes the longest, finding out why they want the big TV, why they want the one-to-one training, and trying to get an idea of what they have interest in, because not everybody wants to get stronger, so they might have an interest in something else. So then when you come to pitch the products, you actually know that they're the right products for them based on their need. Then number 3, pitching those products. I like to give an option of 2 products, but everybody's different. I like to say, okay, these will both get you goals. This is product A, this is product B. Which one would you like? And that leads on to proposal, when you actually break down the prices and what that's going to set them back, and the actual ins and outs of what that product will do for them, or even how long it's over, etc. Yeah. So, and make sure, like you said, you always propose, because some people, they actually do this really well. They do the greeting, they find the need, they tell them about the products, and then they say, so if you decide you want to do it, just let me know. And trust me, they'll just let you know. Ask them. So they're the right products for you, in my opinion. Which one would you like to go for? So don't skip the proposal, some people do. Make sure you actually ask them the question. It's actually something, I've had it before myself, because obviously you've got to put yourself in their shoes. I've had things before where I want to go and buy something, and they almost don't want to sell it to me. I can't think of an example right now, but like you go in a shop.
I did trying to book a thing because the process was too long, or they mess you about. So I was trying to book a big group session at a facility, like, and I was for my group of PTs or whatever. And one email, can I book in a session? Basically, can I give you 150 quid because I want my coaches to come and try this thing that you do? Yeah, what date, what time? I was like, here it is, and it got to the point where I was like, can I book in or what? And the process was so ridiculous. They couldn't give me an offer, they couldn't give me an option. They gave me 10 options. When I chose a couple, they couldn't narrow it down, and in the end I didn't buy nothing because they made it too hard for me to buy, and it was too complicated. Like, they didn't really understand what I wanted to do. I tried to make it really simple. They tried to make it complicated, and I fucked it off. I never went back. And I got someone else to do it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, keep it simple. Give them the time, but at the same time, don't do things for the sake of it. Greeting, find the need, pitch the options, for them the products, and then propose an actual sale for them.
Excellent, good advice. Definitely works, I promise you. Again, we're always open to more. So if you've tried that and you don't feel like it worked, let us know. If you feel like we missed some steps out, or if you tried it and it did work, let us know. In the comments, drop us a message on Facebook or by the email, and just give us a shout. See you next time.